let's get into this one. Five Nights at Freddys. I'm gonna go off on this one first.
Okay.
Because you and I talked, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got out of the movie. Well, first off, my screen got off to a little bit of a rocky start. I was in the theater, and they always show ads and everything, like every single theater does. Ads are going, and the music's blaring. So the music stops. It's about 4:17, and the music stops, and the screen goes out. Okay, movie time. Time for some trailers. Me and the audience are sitting there for about 10 minutes. And we're like, okay, are we going to get to see the movie? So this one lady, this one girl about my age, maybe a little bit older, goes, are they going to show us the Taylor Swift or the Hocus Pocus film by accident? Because they're not playing anything right now. And since I had a experience where, like, the day of, when I was supposed to go and see a religious sports family drama called I Can, I'm friends with the theater owner on Facebook and in real life. And she posts on Facebook, hey, my movie's not here yet. And it starts today. So sitting here telling the story, I'm like, I should have been thinking that. Did she not get the film? Because if I'm sitting here and I gotta sit here, and I don't have a problem with seeing the Taylor Swift Eras Tour for $4 instead of $20. But
that'd be nice.
She probably would have walked in and said, $15 more, please.
Probably.
Then I would have went, fine, I'm here. I'll sit through it. Hocus Pocus, I just went to the theater the week before to see it.
Yeah.
And it's a great film, don't get me wrong. So the movie starts, and I'm like, well, you're not already off to a good start. Oh, boy. So I get to the opening scene, and you don't get to see hardly any of the deaths in this film. Hardly any of the deaths, which was a big issue for me.
Yeah.
However, what you're going to talk about and what I'm going to is going to be two completely different things. Because you see this as a film that I don't see it as, but I see where you are going with it. And you see where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
So this was kind of what made me go, we should do a little bit of like a podcast type show thing so we can actually talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's, to me, isn't much of a horror film. It has horror aspects in it. But before we get into that, Matthew Lillard, that man's just a freaking legend.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's Stu. I don't care if he's in Without a Paddle, or I don't care if he's Shaggy Rogers from Scooby-Doo. I really don't care. Shaggy is a part of all of our childhoods, no matter what, even if it wasn't him in the very, very early 60s. Shaggy has been a part of us, but now he's still playing that role in all the animated films to this day. This man makes a comeback in this film, and no spoilers whatsoever. No spoilers, but did you go into spoilers in your video on it?
I think I did. Yeah, Five Nights at Freddys.
Yeah, we did a little bit.
Did a little bit because I figured everybody would have done seen it by then. You know, if they was going to see it.
Yeah. Okay. So what we see of him in the first act, right?
Mm-hmm.
He just steals the freaking show.
Yeah.
He's Matthew Lillard. He could show up and sneeze, and you're automatically getting a full star for Matthew Lillard. But this movie, to me, more focuses on a family drama aspect, with Josh's character having to take care of his little sister, while his aunt is trying to get her away from, or get her away from him, and take him to court over it, because he's on these sleeping pills. He can't hold down a job. He has very little money. He has a friend who he is not paying very much, if at all, to really watch her. So it's more of a favor, because I think that friend just likes him. That's why she's doing it, sort of. This is more of a family drama to me, because the backstory that we have for his character is mainly the full focus of the story, not the Five Nights at Freddy's guys, not any of the bear or any of those. It mainly hinges on his side story about losing his brother, because that's what he's seeing when he's dreaming. That's why he's having the same dream every night, because he wants to know who is the one who took his brother and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
The horror aspect does come into a little bit, but for me, it just comes in a little bit too late. But the last 30 minutes, I saw the twist coming. I called it. I'm like, this is the person who did it. And I didn't see the whole twist coming. All I'm going to say is I know who did it.
But hey, it was still great. The twist and the reveal was still great.
I knew who did it. I didn't really like that they made it so obvious. But then again, a lot of people are going into this to see the characters. Now, we didn't play the games. Neither of us are major fans of the games.
No.
So knowing this story and playing the games, to me, would not have made a difference whatsoever with my issues in the film at all. At all. Because to me, it's just like the Marvel films. Everyone says, well, this happened in the comics. I'm like, I'm sorry, no. To steal a line from the good and great John Campea, the comics are the comics and the movies are the movies. In this situation, the games are the games. You can steal from the games, like the characters and a story, but for me, knowing the story doesn't help me, and playing the games does not help me with this film in the slightest.
Yeah, I don't think playing the games would have helped any. I mean, knowing the story, it definitely pulled from the story, but kind of flipped it at the same time. But no, playing the games definitely ain't going to do nothing, in my opinion, on that. Yeah, it wouldn't have made no difference for it.
No. Now, we do get some nice, harder PG-13 moments that push the limits of a PG-13 film, with a certain kill and that one scene involving that one Five Nights at Freddy's character who looks like he's about to saw and cut Josh in half.
Yeah.
from the face down. I'm like, that's a bit of a rougher PG-13 moment there. But overall, I thought that this was more of a family drama instead of a horror film. And that's what I'm going to review this as. Because that's what I see it as. Because it wasn't really... You got none of that in any of the trailers at all. They don't say, hey, this is the subplot. You watch these trailers and you're like, you're expecting a horror film. And you get moments of horror, yes. But to me, this is more of a family drama. Overall, I thought this was a very well done family drama mixed with horror elements. Fantastic performance from the legend Matthew Lillard, and Josh was pretty good in this film overall. Having not seen him in much that's been big, the last thing I saw him in was an indie film called Burn.
Ugh.
Which
Didn't
Burn
like
was. Burn was. Oh, sorry. What? Burn was just bad. I saw a few episodes of Future Man, which was all right, but it wasn't amazing. But overall, I thought this was a very well done film. I can see myself enjoying this one more now. Going in, knowing what I'm getting, this could go up for me, but I'm gonna go with the 3.5 out of 5 on my grading scale. I'm gonna go with a very good B+.
Yeah.
What in a nutshell, because I know that I rambled.
You're fine.
But what were your overall thoughts about this? And then we can get right into the newest film. Well, the newest film that we both watched.
Okay. So try not to spoil nothing since we're doing spoiler free here. So for me, and maybe it's because I know kids have played the games before. Mm-hmm. My daughter watches people play the games on YouTube and stuff. I went in, even with the trailers being what they was, I went in expecting a entry-level horror film, kind of like Spirit Halloween or Goosebumps or scary stories to tell in the dark, something like that. Some, an entry-level type horror that you could sit down and watch with the family. That's not going to be too bad. I mean, yes, this gives you some kills, but some of it's cut away, stuff like that, like you expect in PG-13 horror.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed this one. I thought the animatronics looked great. I thought they moved great, a lot better than what the Banana Splits animatronics did. And maybe that's because, for the most part, these were actual animatronics controlled by the Jim Henson Company.
Yeah.
So, that probably helped out. I don't know if they worked with Banana Splits, but I would say not, just because I think they done a whole lot better in this one with the animatronic type style stuff. Yeah. I thought they looked on point with the characters and everything. Matthew Lillard was amazing. Loved it. Loved him in this. One of my biggest draws to see this one, honestly, just because I've never, like we've said, I've never played the games or nothing. So, and Josh actually did a really good job. And I won't say great, a really good job in this, which kind of sucks that he played his best role for us right now is one where he's kind of doped up on sleeping pills a lot. Yeah. He's kind of playing a role where he's kind of doped up and sleepy most of the time. But at least they gave him a reason to be taking the pills. It's and everything. They didn't just leave that as like a plot hole or something, or try to make him out to be something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I think I know this film gets a lot of hate. It gets tons of hate. There is some that enjoy it and love it, but in my review, I said, if you've not watched this yet, go into it watching it as like an entry-level horror, or if you have watched this, maybe rewatch it and watch it as like more of a family-friendly entry-level horror. Because to me, it was still really good, and I look forward to the sequels. I'm expecting probably at least maybe 2 more sequels to this. So really excited to see where it goes. I've already pre-ordered the Blu-ray, so that shows you how much I loved it. And I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5. So it was we're not very far off technically with this one, even though we see it differently. We're still not that far off. But yeah, I look forward to to where it goes and see who all they bring in the next film. Maybe they'll bring in more characters from the game, or I probably won't get who the characters are or how they reference the into the movie, but
no,
it can be nice to see them, and maybe they'll bring my daughter's favorite character into the film.
Yeah, the gator, right?
Yeah, the gator, she knows the character's name. I have no idea what that character's name is, but it's the gator that she wants to see, which I think she'll like this one when we do let her watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she'll be disappointed that he's not in it. I think she'll be like, "Where's he at?"
Now this thing, we already know it's probably going to get a sequel. One, because it was made for relatively cheap. It's a blunt. See, cheap in a relative term because it's millions upon millions of dollars. But this thing made $80 million opening weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, worldwide, it's at $152,022,055. That's within the first week. This thing is getting a sequel.
Oh yeah, Blumhouse closed out sequels anyways, like crazy.
Yeah, well, we are getting a Megan 2 at some point. So I mean,
yeah,
Megan 2. I have no idea how much did Megan make? Let me see. Megan made.
All his movies are relatively cheaply made, so they can make the money.
Megan only made $179.9 million. So right now, this film is right on its heels. But by this weekend, it'll overtake Megan. Which, saying that a Blumhouse film was a hit for them at $179 million, this is going to go. I think this could go to 350, 400 million. It depends on what the drop is, because if it drops below like 60%, because I went to theaters and you watched it on Peacock.
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, it did hurt the box office a little bit, but this is a lot better than, like, say, the last couple of films that they've put straight to Peacock. Mainly Halloween Ends and Halloween Kills. Those went to theaters, and Peacock, which is mainly like, I don't believe in this film. we don't believe in this film because we're sticking it on streaming. But I think they did a nice job with this one. I cannot wait to see the sequel.
Yeah.